all the big evil spoiler alerts that I can throw up for these chapters. This is literally the entirety of the chapters listed in the title, and I'm going through them and talking about every minute detail that I want to. So, if you don't read these series, don't watch this video if you care about spoilers. Okay. So, I haven't uploaded or recorded or streamed anything for, a while. A long while. Like, I think the last video I did was the Berserkers. The text is of the chapters I had to go over, and the pictures of the series it's gonna be over. So, we have Chainsaw Man, chapters 107, 108, 109. If that seems like a lot of content, 5 chapters in one video, all crammed together with my thoughts spewed into it, you're not wrong. It is a lot. And I am very, very, very aware that it's going to be... So I'll just wait until everyone comes in from that. So I'll go to, like... this. We'll go to this. How's that, boys and girls and non-binary? Fuck, I don't know where my server is. There it is. I know I brought up the idea of doing the week chapters, like a week worth of chapters in one video, and just not messing with the chapter mentally, and I've just not had the energy. Hi, Delirious. Oh, 1 second. I can... Is that better? I think that better. That better? I think that should be better. Let me know. I forgot how much of a delay there is on YouTube streaming. I'm so used to Twitch chat when I used to do that regularly, where like it was like boom, 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 like 5 seconds. Now I have to wait like the full like minute to get a response, but it's okay. So yeah, I'm waiting for a response from the chat. Chat, how we okay, fine. Bruh, no, my phone just refuses to work now. Okay, Jesus, that is a harsh delay. I just got that message, but the reason that there are 3 weeks worth of chapters compiled in this stream is the stress of working and actual being busy in my time off, hanging out with friends, pursuing other hobbies. Not that I don't want to still do videos and hobbies. I'm the kind of person where I'll pick a hobby that I want to do, and then I stick to that hobby for a harsh, like, everything I do for a hobby at all is that one hobby. And then I burn myself out of one hobby, so I go to the next, do that, burn out, go 3, burn out. Then whenever I run out, I cycle back to the first. So, just currently, this isn't one of the hobbies I'm burning to do, but I am still going to do these because they are fun. They are a sense where I can actually and get my final opinion on a chapter out. So, without further ado, just because I have the tab open already, we are going to be going to Chainsaw. Actually, 1 second. Before we go into the Chainsaw manga, we're gonna go over the anime. Not over the anime. So good. It just passed episode 4 this week, so episode 5 is coming out next Tuesday. Today's the 4th as I stream. So far it is amazing, and there are a few, in my opinion, in a similar vein to the Attack on Titan CGI from season 4, where it's used and it's stylized almost to a point where it is very hard to tell what is CG and what isn't, because some shots that I thought were CG are completely hand done. Like, they are actually hand animated and not CG. I do know that the one thing that is almost consistently CG are the chainsaw blades, just because that is a lot to animate. The fact that Faro Ai is voicing Power, I think it is just hilarious and it is fitting. But Denji's voice actor is going ham every single second that he's in that recording studio, it sounds like. They adapted some of the, how you say, are we back? I think we're back. Okay. My mic should be better now. I hope. Let's give it a sec. The fact that Faro Ai is voicing Power, I think it's just hilarious. I think I might have just unplugged it for no reason. My stream sounds fine. I think it might just be your headphones, Delirious. Get them checked. But the voice cast is going hard, and the panels like Denji when he's on the ground saying, "I want to touch your tits." I thought they were gonna have to like do some special camera work or something to make that shot interesting. No, the colors and the fact that it is, you'd expect a shonen anime, so like One Piece, My Hero, Black Clover that I haven't watched. You'd expect those kind of anime to get adapted in this very bright and colorful way. Even Jujutsu Kaisen has very striking colors, and I probably will. I'll probably at some point do a rewatch of the episodes and then just give my full unbiased thoughts. I also have the clips from every time we watch them. I record the actual watch party, and then I have episode 1 edited down, but nothing else. Point is, that could happen. But the manga is fucking insane. To give a little summary of where we were in chapter 106, Asa had showed up to school. Yuko made a deal with the Justice Devil and is going to kill Asa's bullies so Asa doesn't have to rely on Yoru anymore. And Asa shows up. Yoru also obviously is there. And they start fighting at the beginning of 107. And it isn't a very unfair fight in the beginning, but you can tell that Yuko is just not trying in the first few pages, and it's shown with just how easily she bats Asa away. I'm going to say Asa and Yuko, because I don't feel like saying Yoru and Yuko, because that's 2 Y names, that's too much. But the school sets off the announcement that there's a devil. Everyone's running. Some people think it's a drill. And then Yuko shows up and shows them, no, it's not a drill. And terrorizes the students, asks who put the raw chicken in Asa's shoes, finds the girls that she thinks did it. And while she's doing this, Asa has a pencil. Hello, anime maker. So she has a pencil that she turns into a spear and throws. Is obviously able to read her mind. And Yuko straight up says that, like, I can read your mind, bro. What do you want to do here? And Yoru makes the point of the pencils, since they are a fairly weak ownership because it's just a pencil, only make weak weapons. And then the Justice Devil throws this trident at somebody else, because it's a trident, and impales someone. And the students keep running away, and the Justice Devil whacks another girl against the wall. She hits the wall, and she goes down, more than likely dead. And that's when a man is standing there named Seiji Okoku, part of the Devil Hunter Club, and he says that he's going to buy time until the Devil Hunters get here. And the Justice Devil tries to give him like one of those weak hits to make him go away, but he tanks it and punches the Justice Devil. Just random. Like, you didn't expect that. And Yoru and this guy seem to be teaming up because Yoru seems to be like kicking in, saying, let's kick this up a notch. And then a crossbow bolt hits the devil from Furyu, who's another devil hunter in the club. And then when Justice Devil goes for a swipe on Furyu, another member shows up with a sword and starts slicing the devil up. I don't think we get a name for this character. It's just sword person, I guess. And they just start wailing on the Justice Devil, cutting her up, beating her in, shooting her with crossbows. This is not a winning situation here. And Yoru says, I know I said Yoru versus Asa, whatever. I don't care. Yoru tells her, don't die before Chainsaw Man gets here. That would not be interesting. And then, in Yuko's mind, it clicks. In my mind, Yuko is a character, or at least the Justice Devil is, where as long as she can convince herself that she's in the right, that's all she needs to do. She just needs some kind of argument to be proven to be in the right. And she kills the Devil Hunters. She blasts through one of their abdomens, Furyu, slices the first guy's eye out, and just looks like she just hits one of the girls through a wall. And the only one that I would say probably isn't dead is the guy who got his eye slashed out. And that's still a possibility that he's dead, because Furyu and him are both making noise in the next panel. And that, obviously, they're still living, but they could easily bleed out, especially Furyu with the chest shot. And then the Justice Devil gives Asa this whole breakdown, thinking, I know all your plans. All the plans that Yoru was coming up with. She hid physical objects in every classroom to use as a weapon, so that she can have a weapon in every class because it belongs to her. 2, she can pull some of the floorboards off and use those as weapons. 3, she can use Yoru's cut off leg. No, Yuko's cut off leg. Sorry, as a weapon. And she just straight up says, "Don't try anything. I'm gonna save Asa from her bullies." And Yoru says, "I have one more plan," with the retort from the Justice Devil being, "I don't see much point in that one." And we get the reveal of what the plan is. It is the leave it all to Asa plan. And the second that Asa comes into control, scars go away, the Justice Devil's reaction is, "You can't do that. What are you thinking? No, don't do it." As we go into chapter 108. Condensed opinion on 107. It is a spectacular action chapter with amazing character bits, and Fujimoto knows how to do that. He is so good at mixing in slower paced character moments with action. It is insane. And then Asa starts almost guilt tripping the Justice Devil in 108, saying, "You killed so many people," which the Justice Devil says 3 or 4 of them. Saying the Gun Devil killed over 1 million people, plus I only killed bad guys. Like I said, and then, alright, I'm forgetting all to mention this shit. Asa says, you don't need to do what you're doing. And then Yoru tells her how to make weapons. Calls out super strong uniform sword and tears off her outfit. There are 2 reasons why I cannot show my, going through these chapters showing panels. 1, copyright would kick my ass. 2, dude, she's just straight up wearing underwear, and I don't know how YouTube feels about that. So, she is down to her panties and her bra with a super cool, "I could be like Chainsaw Man." Which Asa has the exact same logic that I did reading this. What does Chainsaw Man have to do with this? And then I remembered, they had a conversation about Chainsaw Man. And in that conversation, clearly, Yuko thinks that Chainsaw Man being a hero by saving people by killing devils is equal to saving your friend from bullying by killing the bullies as a devil. Which, I might understand that if it was reversed, like the bullies are saving their, which would be like a nice redemption, whatever. No, 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 no. Killing students is not okay, no matter what. And Yoru comes in asking, Yuko, when you made your contract, what did you give the devil in exchange for its power? And the response is, there was no give, I only received. When I was given this power, I received a heart that shines with the light of justice along with it. Well, I had one more bully to kill. Asa, go put on some clothes. And obviously starts leaving. And Asa goes to slice off the legs of the devil, and the devil just bats away the sword. And Yuko, minimal effort for that, says, I told you it was pointless. You can't stop. And she is then diced to absolute ribbons. Like that. Blood explodes out. And Yoru, who said weak when the sword was knocked away, says strong afterwards. The Ooga Booga monkey brain Yoru. Very correct. And she just straight up says, you've surprised me. The sword I made out of people I killed were always average. And the reason why that sword was so strong is because it was made of the uniform that Asa's mother had given her before she died. And she just straight up says, I didn't mean to do this. And she thinks about Bucky, how she unintentionally and indirectly killed Bucky. And I guess she has that kind of logic where she tells Yuko, don't die. And then, holy shit, this character comes out of fucking nowhere. A random character is off to the side and asks if Asa wants to save Yuko. And the character says, anything for my little sister. And her eyes are that of somebody who has made a deal with the devil. I'm thinking Makima. I'm thinking similar to Power. I'm thinking Yoru. These kind of eyes are not normal unless you have a deal with the devil. And Asa asks, like, your little sister? Like, what do you mean? And more devil hunters show up. Professional devil hunters. And say they're notified about the devil attack as amazing scale of this. I'd say from tip to the point where they meet with her head, they are easily as long as a school bus. And that is, that's fucking long, man. And then we move right into the next chapter, which is also why I like doing multiple chapters at once, because they can just kind of flow, and that makes it easy. And we start off, actually, with birds. And Yuko says, what was I doing again? Oh, wow, look at all the little people. School. Of course, bullying won't end as long as schools exist. And she goes from targeting the people to targeting the building itself, using her tentacles to blast chunks of the building away, basically demolishing it. And the entire time she's screaming, I did it, I did it. And then one of her tentacles get cut from one of the devil hunters. And she asks if the devil hunter did it, and then cuts one of them, like, basically from dick to side of the neck, and then cuts the other one in half horizontally. And then she looks back and sees that Asa is fucking out. Either from the debris or the shock of what she did. And then Yuko, trying to cope with what she just did, grabs a random girl who was nearby and says, you did this, die. And this girl is swearing, it wasn't me, it wasn't me. And then, oh my god, when I tell you that I expected, right? If it was going to happen at all in this attack, Denji would have shown up at Devil and tells her to let the girl go, in which Yuko says, mind your own business. And Denji, with his amazing fucking acting skills, well, you've left me no choice. I didn't want to blow my cover, but a superhero can't stand idly by in an emergency and all. And Yuko tells him to buzz off. and goes for a whack, saying "Stay out of my way." And then you have Denji yanking on the ripcord, and I can just hear from the anime those chainsaws screaming as they rip through the flesh of these tentacles. And Chainsaw Man is there, his head and arms with the chainsaws out. And he has stopped Yuko's attack like that, like nothing. The girl that he just saved is like confused, and Denji, being Denji's like, ta-da, because he wants to be revealed. And this, like, you have to imagine she's fighting a devil hunter devil that has made a reputation for killing devils. Of course, she's gonna panic at first, but then she says, "Oh my," to stay with her. And technically speaking, we didn't really stay with her. We stayed with Yuko. But the point is, we stayed in that area. And then Denji shows up. Did Stream die? I didn't even realize. And I hate saying this because I do love Asa. I do love Yoru. I love the idea of the War Devil's power. But I think artist, right? One second. Hello? Is my stream just dead? Yo, how long was stream dead for? Killing students is not okay. No matter what. If Asa wants to say. And I hate saying this because I do. Okay. It's fine. But I hate saying this because I love Asa, I love Yoru, I love the idea of the War Devil's powers and how it can turn anything into a weapon. I think this arc is gonna play out very similarly to Bomb Girl, the Assassin's arc, any arc with a major, like, a singular villain. But I think in this arc, Asa is the villain. We've been following Asa's point of view as almost this protagonist, but in actuality, Asa is the villain to Denji. Denji is our protagonist. We have goals for him. We have his overall character on a sheet. With Asa, sure, we have most of it, but we don't know what her end goal is. Obviously, with Yoru, is to kill Chainsaw Man so she can get her body back, but we don't know anything beyond that. With Denji, we knew he needs to become a devil hunter so he can get close to Makima and touch her boobs. And after that, have sex, get to experience what a normal person goes through. We don't have any long-term goal for Asa like that. So I have a feeling that Asa is going to end up very similar to Riz, where maybe Denji does not kill her, but he comes to an understanding, lets her go, and just like, hey man, as long as you don't fuck with me, I won't fuck with you. Whatever. Maybe they strike a deal where it's like, oh, I won't kill you if you want to go on a date with me. Because that is his whole thing. This does lead to a very interesting question, though. Where the hell is Yoshida through all of this? Denji has exposed his identity to two people now, Yuko, and if that girl was paying attention, that random girl. Yoshida is not doing a very good job at doing his job. Unless this was all part of his master plan of getting Denji a girlfriend, and he's going to use the girl he saved? Which is kind of fucked, but at the same time, I can definitely see that happening. As Denji, either Denji being like, yo, I saved you, you gotta go on a date with me. Or that girl being like, oh my god, my hero. Whatever. All in all, an amazing fight sequence for the Justice Devil. I don't think it's over because we did not get the big, we got the big amazing double page spread of Denji stopping the attack, but we didn't get a big double page spread of Denji ripping the devil apart, which we usually get. So I have a feeling that Yuko is going to come back, maybe not in full devil form, but at least in human form. So good combat sequence. I like the idea of Yoru, all the junior devil hunters, the actual devil hunters, and Denji all fighting her. And we see, like, against Yoru, she was not trying. Yuko was not putting in any effort, barely. Against the junior devil hunters, she kind of had to get serious because she had to, like, come to the realization, oh, these guys are bad guys. Against the actual devil hunters, she was already in that professional, like, these people are evil mindset, so they really didn't pose a threat. But then Denji shows up. And Denji's a blank canvas in his mind. She can't read his moves or anything. And she dies. Or gets royally ripped apart. Either way, I'm fine with it. If Yuko survives this, and in a way, like, similar to One Piece, where the villain of an arc, or a character who you didn't think was redeemable, stays around to kind of be there, think like in a buggy sort of way, but in a more serious role. That'd be interesting, but I can also see Fujimoto just killing her off completely. We had more chapters of build-up for Riz than we did for Yuko. So I would not be surprised if Yuko ends up just biting it here. All in all, 107, 108, 109 all get, so like as a clump, an 8.5 out of 10, which I usually don't. I don't know, man. I don't even know if I do these things usually. It was good. The art was solid. We got some nice fan service with Asa being in her underwear. But it did have a story point, which I was not expecting. With Fujimoto's part 1, we had the very horny sections of like Denji touching Power's tits and all that. Even Himeno and Denji's kiss. But it was all rooted in the story. And this is rooted in not only in story, not only in characterization, but in an action scene. Like, I'm not talking like an action scene where, like, the clothes slowly get ripped off the body till she's wearing, like, basically nothing. No. This was a conscious choice from one of the combatants to put herself in a better position. Holy shit! And now, in a, not in a bad way, I should preface it. I like the new One Piece chapters, 104 and 105. But we are suffering from, or at least I am, the beginning of an arc, no matter the arc, has to hit right with me. The arc that immediately comes to mind that hit perfectly right was Water 7. Because we are very quickly introduced to a lot of characters. But not in a way where it's confusing. You know who each one of them is. You know their role. You know everything. But with the Egghead arc now, we have the same character 6 times with Dr. Vegapunk. Sure, each one has different personalities and stuff, and they have separate names, which will help separate them, but, like, there is not enough separating these characters for me to not be confused. And I haven't even gone through 104 and 105, like, as a breakdown, like I just did for Chainsaw, which I will do. But that is my number one complaint with Egghead as an arc so far, is we have been introduced to a lot of characters, yes, but there's a lot of characters who are all the same character, but not. So you see Vegapunk A acting differently from Vegapunk B, and you thought Vegapunk A was Dr. Vegapunk B, so you're confused. I don't like that. It just doesn't sit right with me. But along with choosing a bad week to stop reviewing Chainsaw because it went weekly again, I chose a very bad chapter to not review. For one reason. I love this chapter. At least the first half of it. 1, cover story. The Germa story. This one cover story cements the fact that the anime is going to have to start adapting these. Without, like, they have to. Because in this one, we see that Kuzan is a member of the Blackbeard Pirates, and they have Pudding captive on the ship with Van Augur. What? That is 2 massive reveals with Kuzan and Pudding. And the anime just can't, like, hand wave those away. Those are going to have some ramifications, and I have a feeling fairly soon. 1 second, I need to take a drink. 38 minutes or 37 minutes into a stream. Of course, I have to take a drink. But they need to start adapting these cover stories. And the other reason I loved this chapter is because it is a continuation of the fight against Blackbeard and Law. And not just that, it's all focused on fucking Law and his crew. I love the Heart Pirates. I loved the idea of them. Like, a crew whose captain and doctor is the same. I love the idea of their ship being a submarine. I love the idea of a mink vice captain. And I had a feeling we were at least going to get a highlight for each character in the crew at some point. Not like this. Not like this at fucking all. So chapter starts with Blackbeard still on Stronger with the doctor. And mind you, this is after Law and Blackbeard made the declaration. This is a winner-takes-all fight. They take the poneglyphs that the other one has, and it's going to be to the death, probably. And immediately, you can tell how this chapter is going to feel. Law orders one of his subordinates named Hakugan to take care of the polar tang. Shachi and Penguin get in the sea and provide cover. And he is acting like an actual captain. We've seen Luffy give out his orders before that, like, hit as a captain. We've seen other captains do that, like Kaido, like Blackbeard in the last chapter. But Law is this calculating machine who knows his crew's strengths and weaknesses. So does Luffy. But he perfectly knows how to do it. He knows who to do for he knows who to give each job to. And not just that. He's not just taking a backseat this chapter. He uses our room amputate and cuts Stronger in half. And Blackbeard says, no one told me his power could do that. Is he using an awakened technique? Which I do believe I do believe so. Marshall D. Teach, I do believe so. And the reason he's asking this is because Law didn't create a room. He used his sword, obviously. Our room is when he creates the room around the sword itself, which is what we saw with the attack he used on Big Mom. I'm forgetting the name of it. Shock Willie. His ability now allows his room to be away from him and linked to objects or people. And I don't know why it took me so long to realize that. I apologize for everything. But Law uses amputate and Blackbeard uses Quake Crash seemingly to stop himself from falling into the ocean. And it causes everyone under him from the Heart Pirates to collapse, lose their balance, whatever. And the doctor tells the Stronger not to die because he's always been such a good horse. And he throws them a bucket of apple or a basket of apples, but they're bombs. And they are flying down on the Heart Pirates. But I believe it's Penguin, because could be wrong. I think it is. One of the members of the Heart Pirates, who I'm going to say is Penguin because of the hat, goes underwater. It probably isn't. Let's be real. What point is, one of the Heart Pirates blow water at the bomb and detonate them in midair, protecting the Heart Pirates. This guy then says it's a big mistake to underestimate us when we all grew up in the cold waters of the North Blue. Meaning, these guys, at least cold-wise, can swim in water comfortably. Like, we know characters can swim. Not a whole lot of them have been, like, major swimmers. Sanji was early One Piece, but he's kind of lost that now. Like, I'm sure he can, but we haven't seen it in a bit. And he dives down to the Polar Tang, and they are on a mission to sink the Sword of Zebek, which is Blackbeard's ship. And Beppo uses his mink hearing to tell Jean Bart that a sniper is at 3 o'clock, and this guy just eats a bullet. Jean Bart is a tank. And Van Augur is upset that this guy is such a strong bodyguard. Law uses K-Room Shock Willie, which is the same move he used on Big Mom. And hits Blackbeard with the full strength. This is where we get into a little bit of a power scaling thing, if you will. I know power scaling in One Piece, it's a fucking nightmare. You should never do it. Law used Shock Willy on Big Mom and got a very similar reaction to what we are seeing from Blackbeard. But the Yami Yami no Mi is supposed to make the person's body weaker. Like we saw it during the Ace fight, that Teach takes more damage because of his fruit. It is the exact opposite of a normal Logia where you can just kind of negate the damage, but no, he takes more. But he eats this attack and isn't just straight up dead. If you would have told me that Blackbeard gets hit by a Yonko blood cough move, which towards the end of Wano kind of lost its meaning, but it was a massive attack from Law that I don't think got the proper recognition it needed to when it hit Blackbeard here. This should kill him, straight up. And he's falling, and Van Augur uses Warp to teleport them. He asks Blackbeard if they want to go back to the ship, and Blackbeard says, "Don't be an idiot, we finish what we start." And he crashes down 1v1 next to Law. And officers have devil fruits. Must be a pretty raw deal hauling around so many anchors. Which, holy shit, Law is right. Having a crew where every one of your members, or at least your big members, are devil fruit users? Yo, you have no water-based attacks. Unless another one of his crew members doesn't have a fruit. But, like, we saw just how mobile Law's crew was in the water. They are the exact opposite. Sure, I'm sure Van Augur and the other Blackbeards can do something about the ship getting sank, but they can't beat the people in the water. Like, those guys, in my opinion, are safe unless someone's fruit can hurt them. Blackbeard retorts, saying the weakness is well worth the trade-off, and then we see that the Sword of Zebek is getting attacked, and the Polar Tang is coming with, like, Polar Tang and 2 swimmers are going after the ship. Opened. And she says, Mama's gonna make you eat those words if she's still alive. So, this is where we get to a bit of an interesting thing. Getting sent down to magma is kind of a death sentence even for devil fruit users. But there was still the, copium from the fandom. Blackbeard and Big Mom are still, Kaido and Big Mom are still alive. They're super strong. They wouldn't die from the volcano exploding. No, we get confirmation from one of the Blackbeards saying, don't you realize we're fighting her killer right now? New eras only happen when the old legends are torn down. So, like, Big Mom's dead, and this is public information. That's all I wanted to say. Then we cut back to Law versus Blackbeard. They're exchanging some hits. If you know anything about Law and Ace, both of them have fought Blackbeard. Both of them have been now attacked with a black vortex. With Ace, didn't end out so well for the guy. But with Law, I feel like he'll be okay. Law has Conqueror's Haki, Armament Haki, Observation Haki. So his fruit isn't the only thing he has. He also still has his sword. Because Black Vortex deactivates a fruit ability and pulls them in. And then we cut to... Or I should probably give my opinion. Law versus Blackbeard, I think, is... Because of Black Vortex, now that we see Blackbeard's actually going to use it, it's a bit more of a toss-up in my opinion. I don't want to say Blackbeard is going to win. I don't want to say Law is going to lose. But if either of them play their cards right, I could see the fight ending out in their favor. If Blackbeard fumbles and doesn't realize how strong Law is without his fruit, that's a loss for him. If Law underestimates Blackbeard and doesn't realize how strong he is with his fruits, Law's done. It went from a very seemingly one-sided fight to, if they play their cards right, either one will win. But if both of them play their full hands, know what each other are capable of and everything, who do I think is going to win? I think it's going to be Law, strictly due to the fact that he now has battle experience against 2 Yonko, to Yonko in which he helped take down. Sure, he did share the glory for taking down Big Mom. And now he's fighting. And Sakazuki says that, again, being Fleet Admiral is so damn frustrating. And, this is kind of, in my opinion... Okay. So right now in the story, we have Luffy's group, which is Jinbei, Chopper, Bonnie, and Luffy. We have Zoro and Brook on the ship still. And we have the rest of the Straw Hats. And then we have Law and Blackbeard. The rest of the crew are currently experiencing Vegapunk's wonderful lavatory. Law versus Blackbeard is currently a fight. Zoro and Brook are having a very interesting discussion on the Thousand Sunny, and Caribou's there as well. I can't believe I'm saying this. The storyline with the main character is kind of fucking boring. It's kind of just them wandering around the island and just talking a lot. Which, like, that's kind of what One Piece is, but, like, I can break down every single page into, like, the major detail. Jinbei says that Kuma was a tyrant, and that doesn't paint a very good picture of him. And Bonnie says he was eventually caught by the Navy. His ties to the revolutionaries came to light, and they gave him a life sentence. Vegapunk took an interest into him due to his physical prowess, so he was offered the opportunity to roam the seas again as a warlord, on the condition that he became a specimen for body modification and cloning. I was wrong. This is all coming from Jinbei. And then we get Bonnie saying, I get why he'd choose to be a warlord dog and help them make some clone soldiers, but why would anyone knowingly agree to become a mindless cyborg? Anyone can see it's just as bad as a death sentence. Daddy was no stinking tyrant, and he hated the government. He'd never submit to them. They must have forced him to accept the procedure somehow. Mind you, she is swinging around basically a lightsaber. And she continues to say, he may call himself a scientist, but to me, he's just a murderer. Dad always used to say he was part of a very special race. But so what? Him being different doesn't justify forcing him to be a lab rat. And it sure as hell doesn't justify killing him. And Chopper asks, like, a special race, while Luffy's just agreeing with it. And then we cut to the point, the storyline that I'm actually interested in. The Thousand Sunny is getting hauled up by the giant robot to the city of the future. Lilith is showing off the main entrance, and she gives them a pair of Dom shoes, which are special shoes made by Vegapunk. She says, don't forget to use the lever. 1 second, I need another drink. Sippy, sippy. Oh yeah, before I get onto it. Vegapunk has now somehow mastered the ability to create clouds from Skypia, very similarly. But that's it. So they put on the shoes and they start walking around the lab, and we get to see all of them in new outfits. Robin is wearing her normal outfit, just a little less clothing. Nami's wearing what seems to be a sleeveless shirt, and that's it, and underwear. Usopp is wearing a onesie with a jacket. Sanji's wearing something very similar to Jinbei with the summer outfit. And Frankie is rocking a whole ass cybernetic look that I am in love with. And then we cut to Vegapunk saying, the problem with being a genius is that you can see your own future coming true. Coming to. I think I'll be dead soon. I just wanted you to know about this, Dragon. So he's on the phone with Dragon. Or in the Den, I should say. And this is interesting because, unless I'm mistaken, and I don't think I am because Vegapunk was always connected to the Marines, this is the first bit of any connection between Vegapunk and the Revolutionaries. And it's very interesting that he would get a hold of the people who are directly trying to go against the Marines and the world government at large. And I think, of course, this is all just from what I think. Um, how do I phrase this? And where was I? I don't even know what I was saying. I don't even know what I was saying. Um, oh yeah, Vegapunk and the Revolutionary. Sorry. It's gonna be very interesting because, like I said, Vegapunk has always been directly connected to the Marines, but now that we're connecting him to the Revolutionaries as well, he has to have had a past. Vegapunk was the man who designed the cybernetics for Kuma. Kuma, who is currently in Dragon's possession, for lack of a better term. Caretaking, I think, is a better one. So I think, and I don't think this is too big of a stretch, the thing that Vegapunk wants to tell Dragon about is the fact that, hey, this is how you fix Kuma. This is how you undo his brainwashing. This is how you undo his cybernetic enhancement brain changes. This is how you get the guy you knew